Lawmakers are raising concerns about Harvard's collaboration with Chinese entities of concern. In a 14-page letter, they questioned Harvard's president about collaborative research on military tech and organ transplants. NTD's Melina Weisskopf has more.
Lawmakers are mainly worried about national security, the national security being at risk and human rights issues going on in China, the U.S. having involvement in that, not directly, but through Ivy League colleges such as Harvard, carrying on these partnerships with those Chinese entities of concern. So one main concern that the lawmakers raised in that letter that you mentioned is Harvard's partnership with Chinese entities, specifically that the U.S. has blacklisted. So in the letter, they mentioned one specific organization, the Xinjiang Production and Construction Corps. That's a group that's involved in the genocide of Uyghurs in Xinjiang, which is why it was blacklisted by the U.S. in the first place. Now, this organization, the XPCC, joined Harvard at a Harvard-China health partnership as recently as 2024. Now, Harvard didn't publicize their involvement in this event, but lawmakers say that Chinese agencies actually mentioned XPCC's involvement with Harvard on this event specifically. Now, also, they're raising concerns about recent organ transplant research that Harvard has worked with Chinese partners on, saying that there's 7 papers that have been listed between 2022 and 2024, including one that was titled Transplantation of a Beating Heart, a First in Man. Now, this is concerning for lawmakers because it's well documented that China has been involved in the forced organ harvesting of prisoners of conscience. We know that the House passed several bills over the years condemning that forced organ harvesting, even as recently as this past Congress just a few weeks ago. So they're worried about research collaboration with Chinese universities. Those Chinese universities that they mentioned aren't blacklisted by the U.S. As of right now, but they're engaging in research on sensitive technology like artificial intelligence and robotics, things with military applications. Now, we know that this is becoming more of a focus for the House Education Committee and Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party because this is a part of a string of reports. Remember last week we reported that lawmakers wrote a letter to Duke University's president over its China-based campus DKU, which is connected to Wuhan Institute because of that same collaboration on that sensitive technology research. And before that, there was also a report from within Stanford about the CCP suppressing freedom of speech of students and using coercion tactics specifically to target Chinese students with families back in China in order to try to get them to cooperate with those CCP officials and sharing sensitive technology. So it's clear that lawmakers want to make this a focus, and they're giving the Harvard president until June 2nd to respond to their questions that they've raised in this letter, Steph.